54. Learn English with News, the US election and how Joe Biden won. Election Day, also referred to as Polling Day, is the day on which the elections are held. Yesterday once again proved the democracy is the heartbeat of this nation. The United States is a democratic country, which means that every citizen in the country can vote to elect its government officials. Biden says that democracy is the heartbeat of the nation. How else might you say this? Democracy is the essence of this nation. Over 150 million people cast their votes. To cast a vote or cast a ballot is another way to simply say to vote. The majority of eligible voters said they would rather not cast ballots, leading to the worst percentage of voter turnout since 1924. Eligible, having the right to do or obtain something. Turnout, the number of people attending or taking part in an event. About a government of, by, and for the people is very much alive. Government of, by, and for the people. This is a first expression used to describe democracy. Biden said this in a different way, but it's often government of the people, by the people, and for the people. This phrase was first made famous by US President Abraham Lincoln in 1863. A government that's of the people could mean that it is made of the people of the nation they control it. In the end, people in the government and normal citizens, they aren't given the power, for example, through heredity. A similar idea is expressed through the preposition by the people. It is made by them through the action of voting. Finally, for the people here means that the government works and does things for the citizens of the nation. Rigged, rigged, rigged to dishonestly arrange the result of an election or competition before it happens. Fist, rigged, fist to dishonestly arrange the result of an election or competition before it happens. Polls, the process of voting in an election. This is also the name of the place where you vote. To sue, to make a legal claim against someone. A different way to say this is taking to court. Electoral college, a unique method for indirectly electing the President of the United States. Popular vote, 2016 presidential election, popular vote. Hillary Clinton wins the popular vote against Donald Trump, 48.1% vs 46.6%. 270 to win, road to 200, road to 270. There are 338 electoral colleges in the US. So if you get 270, you will win. Even in the face of pandemic, more Americans voted this election than ever before in American history. COVID-19 has played a major role in how this election played out, resulted. For one thing, a lot of people decided to avoid the traditional in-person voting and instead opted for mail-in ballots and by mail vote, which in simple words, is a system for voting in which a person delivers their vote via the postal service. A ballot is the form which you fill out to give your vote. Another way in which the pandemic has affected this election is that vote counting had to be conducted at a slower pace because people had to follow different security protocols depending on the state. Donald Trump tweeted, "They are finding Biden votes all over the place in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Pennsylvania. So bad for our country. To be clear, they are not fighting ballots, but counting ones that come in on time according to state laws. And there is a question about whether the postal service run by a Trump loyalist interfered in getting ballots delivered on time, defying a federal judge order Tuesday to do a sweep for ballots. They refused, potentially leaving hundreds of thousands not counted. The one thing this election has clearly shown, America is a nation divided. Another big part of the drama surrounding this year's election is that President Donald Trump has made clear that he wouldn't consider a victory for Joe Biden legitimate. So Trump claims that these votes are illegal because they weren't counted on election day. However, as we've seen before, there is a margin for more mail-in votes to arrive and to be legitimately counted. The difference in this election is that due to the coronavirus, there were many more mail-in votes than in past elections, and the in-person votes on election day weren't enough to clearly determine the winner and raise the question of what will happen if he doesn't want to concede. The question now is, will Donald Trump concede? You would think he would concede. He's the most conceited president we've ever had. To concede means to admit that something is true or correct, although you wish it were not true. He uses some wordplay here as he says Trump is a conceited person. This is another word for someone who is vain, arrogant, or big-headed, meaning they think they're very clever, skillful, beautiful, etc. By the way, we consider this wordplay because in American English, these two words sound very similar, concede, conceited. This is because of the American T word, T here. It's between two vowels, so we just say it like a D, concede, conceded. They've delivered us a clear victory, a convincing victory. Joe describes his victory over Donald Trump as a clear victory, and then even in a more reassuring tone as a convincing victory. Indeed, across the world, an outpouring of joy, of hope, renewed faith in tomorrow, bring a better day. When we describe something as an outpouring of joy, hope, or another feeling, we are saying those feelings are flowing very strong. I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide but unified, who doesn't see red states and blue states, only see the United States. A pledge is a serious promise or arrangement, agreement, especially one made publicly or officially. Joe Biden uses this word as a verb. Um, Republican, conservative, Democratic, liberty. Swing state. As opposed to a blue or red state, a swing state tends to be more unpredictable. Swing states Nevada, Arizona, Pennsylvania. Let's see how to read this word. Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, Nevada, Arizona, Pennsylvania. I'm proud of the coalition we've put together that brought us the most diverse coalition in history. Coalition. The African American community stood up again for me. You've always had my back, and I have yours. A coalition is the joining together of different political parties of groups for a particular purpose, usually for a limited time or a government that is formed in this way. In this part of his speech, Biden addresses the African American community and says they stood up for him. To stand up for someone means to speak or act in support of someone or something. Then if you have someone's back, you are prepared and willing to support or defend them. Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Progressives, Moderates, Conservatives, political spectrum, Democratic, Liberal, Republican, Conservative. For all those of you who voted for President Trump, I understand the disappointment tonight. We say those of you to refer to a group of people. Our work begins with getting COVID under control. All the moments that matter most of us until we get it under control. You can then use different verbs to add a layer of meaning, have under control, keep under control, get under control. We cannot repair the economy, restore our vitality, or relish life's most precious moments. Relish. This means to get great pleasure or satisfaction from something. Okay, that's it.